Hi BookTube, it's Amy. So I was sitting here beginning to read a book I'd had on my shelf for a little while. I actually picked this up in September thinking I might read it in October for Booktober, but I never did get around to it. Samuel Smiles' nonfiction book, Self-Help. I was just beginning to get into this. I was reading the introduction about how the book was based on some lectures that he gave to a group of young men who had put together sort of an educational society for themselves when almost daily knock on my door came to let me know that the mail had arrived. The books that I ordered on Books are slowly trickling in, and this is a second book from Horizon Books in Toronto. You might recall that last week I got Fishers of Books by Barton Curry from Horizon Books, and shortly after that I decided to order a second book from Horizon Books just because I was so impressed with what I got, how it was sent, and also how quickly it arrived. I really wanted something new to read, and I wanted something new that was good to read, and I wanted it quickly because a lot of the books that I've ordered are coming either from the States or the United Kingdom or here in Canada, British Columbia, and the shipping times are quite long. Even under normal conditions, sometimes I wait 2-3 weeks for a book to arrive internationally. And who knows when books are going to be arriving here. I have a few books I ordered from the United Kingdom a month ago that I don't know where they are. They've shipped, but they're not here yet. But I have another book here. And it's funny, I don't recall exactly what this book is, but I believe it is another book about books that I had ordered. This package has quite a lot of tape. Oh yeah, and I like how they recycle. This is literally just an old cardboard box. The Memoirs of a Bookman by James Milne. So this will be a fun read. I'm probably going to set aside the Samuel Smiles and dive right into this because I'm really more interested in this. I was trying to decide whether to read that Samuel Smiles book or to dive into Louisa May Alcott's A Long Fatal Love Chase that I had delivered earlier this week. And I didn't think that one was worth doing a video for because it's not that remarkable. But when the older books like this arrive, these I like to consider on camera and to show off, so to speak. So we do have something white on the corner of the spine, but I don't care about such things as that. Little bit of dust, little bit of cat hair. I would assume that comes from the previous owner rather than the shop. Maybe the dust is from the shop if it's sat for a bit. Maybe it's a bookshop with cats. I don't know. I've never been to Horizon Books in Toronto. There's the bookmark again. So we have the Bookman of the Memoirs. And this is published by John Murray of Albermurley Street, W. And I guess that's a street in London. So there is the image of the Bookman and the Memoirs of a Bookman by James Milne. Copyright 1934. Dedication to Amy Trixie, gratefully. So we have chapters on Old and New Victorians, Echoes of the Grand Manor, Being Dead Yet Speaketh, Tablets of Other Years, The Moving Finger Writes, A Quickening Time, Old Travelers Who Return, The Mills of God, The Melody of Fame, Hardy by the Suffolk Sea, A Page of People, The Inky Way, Whispers of a Throne, Traffics and Surprises, New and Old Grub Street, Pilgrims of the Pen, Confidences and Confessions, The Great Wartime, Candles of Memory, Salt and Sincerity, and people in the book. And this book does have quite a bit of, I think you call it foxing throughout the pages, but that was revealed in the description, so that was expected. And I guess we've got, what do you call it, deckled edges here. The pages aren't cut evenly. Oh, there's a chapter in here called Feeding the Beatles, Opinion and Piracy. Oh, there's a photograph in here of Thomas Hardy and Edward Claude, a photograph snapped on the seashore at Elderberg, where the Wessex novelist, who is on the right, often visited the banker author at his hospitable home in the ancient East Anglian town. So this looks like a fun read. I've always wanted to read more books about books, and the other week when I ordered that Fishers of Books, that sort of set me off more or less, and I ended up ordering that because I had been sitting with A Gentle Madness on my reading table, and I sort of followed that rabbit hole. And if you're interested in books about books, just by coincidence, it seems Sean Standfast, who has a great channel here on BookTube, did a shelf tour recently of all his books about books. And I think he must go through close to 100 titles, many of them old and new, and I've created sort of a to buy or to read list for myself once I'm done with the titles that I've ordered myself here on books. And I got the J.M. Barrie, the Admiral Crichton, the other day, and my next sort of rabbit hole is Hugh Thompson, because I've ordered a biography of Hugh Thompson as well. He is the illustrator of that work, and I've discovered that he was quite a well-known illustrator of the time. There have been a couple of books published about him, and he did illustrations for not only J.M. Barrie, but reprints of Jane Austen for Charles Dickens, and some of the illustrations I actually recognized as being used on contemporary reprints. For instance, there is a particular Jane Austen illustration for Pride and Prejudice that I know I've seen reprinted somewhere in the last few years, which I thought was quite interesting. So I've got a lot of excellent books coming in the mail. As I've explained to a few people, I canceled my Ottawa transit pass for the month of April. And so there was $120 extra lying around, and my budget that I would normally spend on eating out in pubs, ordering takeout for movie nights with my friends, going to the theater, all that money is just sort of sitting here. And so I've decided to devote some of it to books. Well, that's quite funny. A panel of artists and authors. So I do have a little bit of extra disposable income these days. So I thought, why not spend it on some books to entertain myself with? I hope you're having an excellent Thursday. If you happen to have heard of this book, please let me know in the comments below.